not the most exciting, you know, playmaking marksman that I was thinking of. I was going to try and see if I could get your opinion on it.
Even with Chris being here,
Yeah, it's a 4-man strong push from the side of Thunder Talk. I think Top Esports are just calling this audible and saying it's a little too dangerous to TP in. Just as I say that, they're going to go for it, and Chris will emerge from Fog to try and see if they can pull off some of that magic we saw in the second game. Already, Beishuan has to dip from the stacking turret aggro, and now it resets. Thunder Talk waiting for their moment to wait for those cooldowns, get them back up. Good charge, but Beishuan dodges out of the way before the Ignite eventually gets him, but it doesn't because he flashes over the wall, and Chris cannot get another bit of damage to finish off the kill. And this time, learning from their woes in that second game, Dimitri, Thunder Talk pull off a clean, you know, angle you're going for, because, you know, when we're trying to convince, you know, someone who is a defender. Hang on. Satab is in trouble, and Kanavi just has too many dashes to be able to keep up with Satab. Able to step in as a second man is enough to force Satab and Feather back off, trying to fight for control of that minion wave, but Satab is forced to concede it for now, as now Chris and Kanavi are going to threaten him under the tower, and it looks like Chris could have actually just solo killed him by himself, but making sure to donate that kill credit, just throwing in strays. And come on, man. Leave me alone.
There is no justice, no peace out on these rifts.
And it's definitely no peace for Satab, as he can't even get a crumb of the minion wave, as Kanavi and Chris come in straight in and bullying him away from the tower. As 369 is going to endure himself against Hoya. Now that there's no CC from this Mininar, is going to just throw out the Call of the Forge God. I mean, 369 definitely looked like he was in trouble, but now Kanavi and Chris, they surfed on over to mid lane, pushed Satab out. They're going to do the same to Hoya. Not necessarily in lethal range, but just the pressure alone.
It is a massive win for TES, as now Thunder Talk are not really in a great position to help contest for these grubs.
And Beishuan might be in trouble here. Still has Flash available, throws out the Crescent Guard, pushes Crisp away, and forces him to battle dance back to safety. A teleport is coming in from 369, but he's on the other side of that wall. He's going to try to take up as much of it, but he is forced to flash after losing more than 75% of his HP. Second rotation of grubs. 2 have been picked up by Top Esports, so now they've secured 4 for themselves. Thunder Talk, they need to escort Beishuan into range so that they can look for it, and it's actually 1xN that gets the 4th bullet, but the fight emerges and erupts, and Crisp is the first one to fall. A good tempered fate stops Kanavi in his tracks and tries to dissuade any moment for Top Esports to look for the further engagement. Kanavi throws down the Cyclone, but flashes already came out from the side of Thunder Talk, as now the curtain call looking for one more bullet, but it's not enough to finish off Jackie Love, and Thunder Talk somehow stand tall in the fight.
What a messy fight here from
Well, there's still a chance for potentially Cream to pick up an MVP this game if he finds his moment on this advantage from the Jhin to be able to give a little bit of that acceleration and love back into other carries as teleports are coming in.
Okay, both top laners are coming in from different sides of the fight. 1xN is currently farming in mid, but this Herald is almost down, and there's no jungler in the area.
Oh, really good tempered fate. Cream could be the target here. Here comes Call of the Forge God as it splits up the fight. Kanavi secures the Rift Herald, but someone needs to walk over and pick up the gem, but they're going to turn for the fight first. Ooh. Kanavi and Chris finding their way through the front and the back line, as Top Esports now seem to have the majority of the fight on their side, but my screen is frozen, so we're going to see if we can jump back to live. Now we are back. Cream flashing forward, looking to pressure 1xN, dodging out on the Feather Flash, but the Cosmic Binding does not get locked up right in between those two towers. Is now 1xN looking for that base, should be safe. Cream just making sure that the rest of the red side jungle quadrant in order to take that without any contest from Thunder Talk. This wave pushing into the tier 1 turret on the bottom side of the map, that will be knocked down eventually here. Cream just taking his sweet time with it and making sure that Thunder Talk have no realistic way of being able to safely get vision down so that they can make this entrance. This should be a fairly easy macro take for Top Esports.
So for everybody at home, for any of our would-be potential observers in the future, especially with a champion like Victor, because we don't have the stacks or how many times he's been able to upgrade, we only can really tell by looking at his abilities and when he uses them. I was writing, he's just waiting to get his level 16, or his second point to be able to put more into his ult. That's what I want to see. We got a dragon starting here now, though, as
2000
is nowhere in the area.
Tempered Fate just pushes Cream off to the side. Kanavi flash over the wall. Cyclone right onto 1xn. That forces his own flash away. And he is completely out of the fight, but he's got a curtain call. He's going to fish for some bullets. Cream has to stand behind the rest of the front line. And he should be relatively safe unless he can bend it like Beckham around the front line. Woohoo! That was surprisingly a little close for comfort there, but Jackie Love is the one that absorbs the bullet. And 369 wasn't even there at the fight. Still has TP. Was just pushing on the top side of the map pretty comfortably. And now we got a second teleport, or just a teleport in general, coming in from Cream. They want this turret, and they're going to pressure Satab off of it. Or maybe not so much, unless they force it. Okay.
5 grubs? 4 grubs?
Call.
Okay, we're TPing. We're fighting for this, boys.
Well, Call of the Forge God does knock him up, but Satab jumps in with the Between Worlds, gets a decent slow and damage off. Hoya needs to go into Mega Gnar form if he wants this fight to work out, but Crisp is looming around the shadows. They get the animation canceled for the Mega Gnar fully off, but Crisp predicts the hop back from Satab, provides the knockup, gives the alley-oop 369 to dunk his face on, and Cream picking up the kill on the Hoya. And I don't know, Dimitri, this looks pretty done and dusted for Thunder Talk. They are now 5
favorite coming into this tournament. Thunder Talk, I think, have put up a great run up against some other teams here, and even making it to the semis.
And Top Esports are going to continue hammering in this advantage as they look for the dive. Feather tries to prevent the dive from happening and stalls some time with the Tempered Fate. It does buy Satab.
So we're looking at TES to not only bring home a Demacia Cup win, but I think in general, bring home one of the cups here when we're talking about LPL.
Minutes in here. Death timers are not extremely long, but with how close they are to unlocking the base and where the minion waves are, a couple of kills could have been enough for Top Esports to completely just take the entire base of Thunder Talk Gaming. As for now, they hold their ground, and they make sure that Top Esports are not in a position where they can just rip the Baron on sight. They are going to take their time and instead play for the third dragon of the game as 369 getting a decent chunk. Is he just going to solo out Hoya? Oh, man. If we're at this state in the Gnar and Ornn matchup, I don't know what else to say. It's that saving grace for Hoya. He tries to occupy the minion wave, but, you know,
Terror and I just don't think there's much that TES can do wrong in this game right now. They are so far ahead. Even though it's only 7,000 gold, you have to think 3 dragons, multiple turrets, the experience differential, especially in mid lane right now. Cream being a level and a half up gives you so much, maybe in a group Nirvana sense where they're trying to end up top 4 and make it into like a season playoffs or working into potentially qualifying as a top 8 team.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're able to, you know, take a game off of JDG in your respective group, I think that is, you know, it's very meritable in that own sense, as Top Esports might just be making that game-winning engage, as Satab is going to throw a desperation Hail Mary attempt trying to flank the back line with that Between Worlds, and Cream is chunked out of the fight, but not necessarily in lethal range. Kanavi is trying to dodge on these bullets, and I thought that last one was going to curve, but Fog of War obscuring where Kanavi was and just barely being able to dodge out. Thunder Talk, they do lose their middle inhibitor, but they don't lose the game just yet. Down 8,000 gold. They're still in it, Dimitri.
They're in it in physicality. They're physically in the game.
Spiritually,
per the game rules and typically how advantages work, they're not in here. They are very much not in here. And that's going to be Cream almost finding a kill at the base run.
Oh, wait, really good
maybe make a turn.
I mean, Cream still has a flash to work with, so he's not in any real danger just yet. I thought for a moment maybe Thunder Talk could have the movement speed to wrap around and look for a pick that could have turned the tides in their favor and really put a stun into Cream's acceleration, since he is working with that BM book now, 10 stacks on the Magi Soul Sealer, but nobody from Thunder Talk can really safely make an entrance here onto the Baron pit. Beishuan was chunked out, so this is a safe time for Top Esports to rip that Baron. Now the gold lead
that I think are a bit more difficult to read, especially for how well they've done so far in their semifinals and even in their group stage. They made a big change, bringing in Flandre and Tarzan into the roster, and I think people were thinking, okay, is this AL team really going to be able to shape up? They probably are going to make top 8 here at Demacia Cup, but much past that, we don't know. We'll have to hold that question for tomorrow or in a couple days when Grand Finals is played, but TES just playing with their food right now. They're kind of fishing with some of the ultimates now. I think we're getting in that part where that restlessness starts to kick in. TES want to close this out.
Satab sends it, pops the Between Worlds, tries to look for Cream, but he gets blown up. Power of the Arcane as Top Esports riding on that anime high as they have the Power of God and anime on their side, and it's all about strength. It's all about power, and Top Esports have tons of it in supply. Cream adding up the stacks on that BM book, reaching 25, 7-0 and 5 on the victor. Surely this is an MVP performance worth deserving and rewarding for himself. GG to Top Esports. They sweep Thunder Talk out of the bracket.
That'll be a